What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, The Walk 71, replace David with a 4, and I'm here with another NXT TakeOver review for you guys. This show being NXT TakeOver WarGames 2. And man, before I even get to it, I know I'm going to continue to sound like a broken record, and it's probably going to be this way forever when it comes to these TakeOver events when I review it, but the main roster show is in trouble this year. NXT TakeOver WarGames 2, an amazing show. It was great from top to bottom. It had less matches technically than the previous takeovers, but every single match delivered in their own way, which is perfect, which is what each match should have done. It was a really, really good show. Now, the show started off with an angle that was kind of being set up like a week ago, because the last episode of NXT TV, Cassius Ohno, Matt Bro was doing his promo. He was doing a promo backstage, and instead of calling it his debut, he called it a debut. And then Cassius Ohno basically said, "I'm going to knock you out," yada yada yada. Because Cassius Ohno character on TV recently has been where he feels ignored, and he feels like William Regal puts all of his energy and his focus on the new guys and forgets that Cassius Ohno even exists. Kept saying, bro. So it was a match that was probably going to happen at TakeOver, but the way they did it was kind of more of an angle which could set up for maybe a future match, because they said they were going to face each other next week, which is, that episode of NXT that they film before the TakeOver show. They usually film like 2 matches, and it's just some, regular matches. They film it, and then on the actual episode, they show those 2-3 matches, how many matches they decide to record. And in between, they just do basically highlights and just talk about what happened at the TakeOver event. But apparently, they didn't do none of that, because the pre-show started at 5:30. It's usually an hour pre-show. It started at 5:30, and there wasn't no pre-record matches. Now, I know NXT did a TV taping Thursday, the previous Thursday at San Jose University. So maybe that's going to be the episode that'll premiere this Wednesday, because they did that last year, I believe, where they might have filmed the episode. They filmed the episode before TakeOver WarGames last year, but then the next week there wasn't no taping, so they just took the matches from that live event that was in San Antonio the weekend that TakeOver WarGames 1 happened. So I don't know where they was going, but they were supposed to have the match tonight. Instead, they were talking back and forth with each other on the pre-show panel, and then eventually the show opens up. Matt Riddle's music hit, and I was like, wait, what? He came out, the crowd's chanting, bro. He's getting a crazy response in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. Bro, he's talking, and he's basically saying, he calls out Cassius Ohno, saying, I want to fight you tonight. Cassius Ohno comes out, he says, all right, I'm going to knock you out, yada, yada, yada. The match starts. Matt Riddle back was turned, and Cassius Ohno was going to take advantage, and Matt Riddle hit a flying knee strike and won the match in like 5 seconds. It was a quick match. Now, I would say this is more of an angle than a match. Like, it was a match to happen, but I feel like this is going to set up for something. I wouldn't consider this a match. And there was a lot of people that took this match really serious, as like they rated the match and gave the match 1 star, like it was really going to be a real fucking match. I didn't take it serious because I knew it was something. It was setting up for something. People were like, really? They were really taking it serious. They was like, oh, NXT's having a rocky start with that Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno match. Calm the fuck down, motherfucker. It's not that damn serious. Jesus Christ, you fucking dipshits. It's not that serious. It was a fucking angle. Jesus Christ. So yeah, Matt Riddle knocked him out. It looks like they're just trying to get Matt Riddle more, over. I think this is gonna set up for something with Cassius Ohno against Matt Riddle and Keith Lee, or Keith Lee versus Cassius Ohno with Matt Riddle being involved. I don't know. I feel like this is setting up for something in the future, though, so be on the lookout for that. It might go down at the TakeOver Royal Rumble weekend, so we'll see. So then we open up with an actual match, and let me go on Wrestling Inc. right now. I have it up because I want to make sure I don't forget anything important, as we had a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Women's Championship, as we have Kairi Sane taking on the 2-time NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, who came out with her 2 new goons, I guess you could say, the other 2 people in the MMA 4 horsewomen, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, aka Roger Strong's wife. So the match started. Kairi Sane had a mean streak, drop kick Shayna Baszler, just start going at it with her. And it wasn't too long after that the two chicks, Duke and Shafir, got involved. Eventually, Shayna Baszler caught Kairi Sane out of nowhere with the what's it called? The Karafuda clutch, which is really just a rear naked choke. And Kairi Sane tapped out. Tapped out early, being smart, yada yada yada. So the match continues. Shayna Baszler's dominating, and Shayna Baszler just continues to dominate. And then, let's see. We got to a point. This is the craziest part of the match. This was, so we get to the apron, and it looks like Shayna Baszler was about to do a suplex off the apron, and Kairi Sane reversed it into a DDT, but it looked like Shayna Baszler broke her neck on the apron. So she's over there. The two chicks are checking on her. Kairi Sane says, F all that, gets on top of the top rope, hits her insane elbow on the outside to all three of the women, rolls Shayna Baszler back into the ring, and what is she? I think she had got a pinfall after that, and then it was even. I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. So after that happened, the match continued. Which another thing Shayna Baszler did was she stomped on Kairi Sane's face, and I was like, oh shit, this woman's legit. So we get more to the end of the match, and the two chicks get involved once again. Kairi Sane went to the top rope to go for the insane elbow. They grabbed her leg. So then Dakota Kai came out surprisingly, took both of them out, but eventually the advantage got to the best of her, and then they start beating down Dakota Kai. Then Io Shirai pulled up in regular outsider clothes and hits a moonsault off the top rope onto the outside of all of them. Dead. So then we get back into the ring. Kairi Sane eventually goes for the insane elbow. Shayna Baszler catches her, hits a sneaky crucifix pin on her, sort of, and wins the match like that. It was a really good match. I really enjoyed this match because this is supposed to be the last match of their incredible rivalry because they've been having matches on matches. So it was a really good match. I really liked it. If I had anything to say about it, I would say, what's next for the women's title? Because Shayna Baszler has defeated everybody that they built up. I would say Bianca Belair, but Bianca Belair is I guess I'm pretty well. She's kind of a heel, and then B, like I don't know who's gonna be next, and when are we gonna bring up all three of them so we can do the MMA 4 Horsewomen match versus the WWE 4 Horsewomen match, because I know that match is gonna happen soon. But yeah, it was a good match. Shayna Baszler retained the title. Of course, she's currently the best NXT Women's Champion. Damn near might be better than Asuka in terms of actually doing the damn thing, but we'll see by the end of the reign, I guess, or whatever. So after that, did we get anything else? No. We got to this match. So the next match we got to was Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. Incredible match. Wow, what a freaking match. We had Johnny Gargano, he's playing this tweener gimmick now because he was revealed as the one to jump Aleister Black. He said the reason is because he wanted to be the one to defeat Tommaso Ciampa. So Aleister Black, pretty much to him, was collateral damage. So he had to do what he had to do to win. But Johnny Gargano lost. So it was pretty much, you done fucked up now, and Aleister Black's about to pull up on you. Aleister Black pulled up with the clean ring jacket. He ain't even had a regular vest. This man had spikes and shit on his fucking vest. I was like, oh shit, he about to whoop ass. And that's what he came to do. This was an incredible match. I really liked it. Both men just tried to kick and knee each other in the fucking face. There was one spot Johnny Gargano tried to go for a suicide dive, and Aleister Black caught him with a V trigger, basically a running knee to the face to the outside. There was a cool exchange of both men were just hitting super kicks and kicks on each other. Johnny Gargano had hit a reverse Hurricane Rana. He tried to go for a running offense. Aleister Black just hit him with a fucking jumping knee. A jumping running fucking knee. It was crazy. That was good. What else? The match started off really good in terms of, Aleister Black trying to kill Johnny Gargano. He started off with a bunch of strong strikes. But as we get later down to the match, Johnny Gargano was about to go for a super kick, and Aleister Black said no. Aleister Black sits down in his Indian style position. The position he sits in, legs crossed and everything. And he tells Johnny Gargano, hit me with your best shot. So Johnny Gargano super kicks him and then hits him with a Tommaso Ciampa knee strike. Foreshadowing, of course. Hits him with Tommaso Ciampa knee strike for a near fall. So then eventually, Aleister Black tried to go for what was the move? What was it? The Black Mass, and Johnny Gargano reversed into Gargano escaped. Aleister Black eventually got out of it, hit a black mass, picked Johnny Gargano back up and said these exact words, "I absolve you of your sins," and hits him with another black mass for the victory. Really fucking good match. It was so good. A lot of just kicks and punches and strikes against each other. It was really good. I enjoyed the match. Now, if I had my own personal complaints, because there was one thing I didn't like about this match, and it happens to do with the way they built this up. Nikki Cross was supposed to be a part of this match in some kind of capacity, if I'm being correct, because she is the one that saw what happened to Aleister Black. She was like involved with this storyline. She was carrying this storyline when both men weren't on TV, because she was the one that saw it. And for weeks they were trying to get Nikki Cross to say who saw it. Then when Aleister Black pulled up, she told him. He got angry, and then eventually the next week, I believe it was either the next week or 2 weeks after, she came to the ring saying, he's coming, and Aleister Black pulled up, and then Johnny Gargano pulled up, super kicked him, and revealed he's the one that attacked him. I also like Johnny Gargano's kind of heel tweener tactics, kind of trolling a little bit, because he's still in denial that he's a bad guy, because he like high-fived the kid and was like, they still love me. It was amazing. Also, he has Venom graphics now, like his logo has the Venom symbol on it. With the messed up, you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. Also, Johnny Gargano had a Punisher attire on, RP to the homie Stan Lee, the GOAT. But I'm getting off topic. So yeah, I feel like Nikki Cross should have been involved in this match in some capacity, whether it be during or after the match or something, but she should have been a part of it. And it seems like they were trying to involve Candice LeRae in it too, Johnny Gargano's wife, and they did nothing with that either. That's my only complaint about this match. But other than that, if you don't know what happened in this match, what happened before this match, you'll enjoy it. I still enjoy it, even though Nikki Cross didn't show up, or Candice LeRae, or whatever they were trying to do with that. But Nikki Cross should have been a part of this in some capacity, in my opinion. Good match, though. Great match. So then we get to another amazing match. 1 second. My fault. We have the NXT Championship match, as we had Tommaso Ciampa, the NXT champion, the greatest sports entertainer, versus the Velveteen Dream. And if you've been listening to my NXT TakeOver reviews, you know how much of a fan I am of Velveteen Dream. I've always been a fan of Velveteen Dream, even when he was on Tough Enough as Patrick, because he was the only one that actually knew or cared about wrestling on a wrestling competition show. But anyways, good match. Velveteen Dream is just one of those wrestlers that progressively gets better. Every match he's in, he personally, I'm not just talking about the match in general, because there's been matches where he shined, but the other wrestler hasn't really shined like that. The EC3 match. He's somebody that progressively gets better every big match. Aleister Black match, he introduced himself as the wrestler. Then the match with Cassius Ohno, a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was cool. He, more or less, I would guess you could say he put more character into it. The ladder match, he just went crazy. Did the elbow drop off the ladder. TakeOver Chicago, the show I was at, where he dressed up as Hulk Hogan. We're going to get to that too. He showed that he can perform in a good match. The next was the EC3. That match was like good for Velveteen Dream, not for EC3. Because EC3 personally, he has a pretty boring moveset. He just has an amazing character. But Velveteen Dream did good stuff in that. So I feel like he's somebody that just progressively gets better. And it's perfect. He is the reason NXT exists. NXT exists for people to get better, so when they get to the main roster, they're at the top. Not to get people that are already good, then to go to the main roster. That's why Velveteen Dream is somebody that will profit, that will profit on the main roster, because he's somebody that has gotten better. He's gotten adjusted to the style. His character is A1. His ring skills is good, and it just continues to get better until it's time for him to go to the main roster. And that might be really soon, because I don't see them doing anything else with Velveteen Dream after this. So my man's Velveteen Dream, he always does something crazy and extravagant for the TakeOver shows when it comes to his entrance. Like I said, the Chicago TakeOver Chicago 2, I was there. He pulled up as Hulk Hogan, the red and yellow Hulk Hogan, the old school Hulk Hogan. Well, since they're in Los Angeles, LA, Hollywood, Velveteen Dream decided to go Hollywood, and he dressed up as NWO Hollywood Hogan, the black and white Hogan. He had the NWO logo, but it was like over, like Dream over. He had the Hulk Hogan gloves on. He wrestled with them. He had the Hulk Hogan like attire, but he had it with his own stuff on it, and it was pretty lit. It was a really good match, and man, Velveteen Dream is over like Rover. I've heard that from Aubrey Citizen before, so shout out to Aubrey Citizen. He is over. Man, that roof, if Velveteen Dream would have won the NXT title last night, that roof off of the Staples Center would have been non-existent. It would have disintegrated because the fans were loud this entire freaking match, and this match was really good. So it started off with Velveteen Dream basically just messing around. He got Tommaso Ciampa a couple times. It was just, you know, I wouldn't say a filling out process. It was just him messing around with Tommaso Ciampa and then getting offense in until Tommaso Ciampa hit just a crazy running knee into the corner and Velveteen Dream just sowed death on it. So we continue the match. Tommaso Ciampa is beating up Dream. He put him in a headlock eventually, but Dream got out of it. Then Dream started getting offense in, and we got to a point where Dream just said, fuck it, I'm just going to cosplay as every legendary wrestler. He did the Hulk Hogan gimmick kip up where, you know, he punched him and then hit the big boot. He hit the Hulk Hogan leg drop 3 times. Like, you know, when Hulk Hogan just lifted one leg up and the other one just fell when he did the leg drop. He did it 3 times. Then he actually started working on Tommaso Ciampa's leg. He put Tommaso Ciampa's leg in the figure 4 in the ring post, or the sharpshooter in the ring post, kind of like what Bret Hart did to Stone Cold. He did that. Then he did the figure 4 leg lock. What else did he do? He did something else. And then the matches continued to get better. You know, so many near falls with Velveteen Dream hitting the little DDT thing. He did that. There was one moment that I was very confused, and I wonder if they're going to elaborate more on it. It was when they got to the outside. Tommaso Ciampa took the padding off of the concrete, and he threw something at Mauro Ranallo and said, "I'm the best," or something like that. And I wonder if they're going to do something with that, because that seemed like that has to be something significant, right? So then Tommaso Ciampa turns around. Velveteen Dream hits the rolling Death Valley driver on the concrete, rolls him back into the ring. Did he go for the elbow after that? His elbow tonight was really clean. It was like he stopped in midair and was still in the elbow position and then dropped. It was crazy. He hit the elbow for a near fall. Then we get to the end of it where Tommaso Ciampa is draped on the apron. Velveteen Dream tries to go for that elbow off the apron after they tried to do something. And then Tommaso Ciampa ended up hitting a DDT. Since this is a takeover, they had 2 rings next to each other, but there's a metal piece holding both rings together. Ciampa hit a DDT on Velveteen Dream on there, pinned him. The crowd booed the hell out of Tommaso Ciampa, which is the good thing. Tommaso Ciampa retained the NXT title in a really, really good match. Very entertaining. It was a very good match. It had me on my toes. I was watching most of TakeOver WarGames too on my phone because I just got back from college for Thanksgiving break. So I was hanging out with my parents, but I was still watching the show on my phone because it's NXT TakeOver. TakeOver's gonna be lit now. If it was Survivor Series, I don't know, it might have to take a bump, but it was TakeOver. So I was watching on my phone. But while I was watching on my phone, I was like, you know, actually like, you know, frantic. Like I wouldn't say I was shaking, but I was just holding it like this is like I have to watch this match. Like whatever else is going on beyond me, I have to watch this match. And I did, and it was an amazing match. Velveteen Dream is probably his best match to date right now. Now, what I think might happen, Velveteen Dream might get called up because there's nothing else for him to do in NXT. He might as well get called up. Maybe. Yeah, there's nothing. He went at it with pretty much everybody he needs to go at it. Unless they revisit the Aleister Black thing, which I don't think they're gonna do now since Velveteen Dream's a face. But yeah, he might be pulling up to SmackDown or Raw soon, you know. But yeah, it was a really good match. Now, as for Tommaso Ciampa, I think they need to do an Aleister Black Ciampa like placeholder match for the Royal Rumble takeover. You know, because he never got his rematch for the NXT title because, you know, when he was supposed to, he got taken out by Johnny Gargano. So maybe we set that up. That way we could set up something, you know, maybe foreshadowing Ciampa and Gargano actually becoming one again, becoming a heel tag team or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out as the time goes along. NXT knows how to make these things last forever. So we get to the final match of the night, the namesake of the pay-per-view, as we had the War Games match under the more traditional rules of a 4-on-4 team with 2 people starting in. The team that has the advantage, each man just piles up into his 4-on-4 and the match starts. This one still has no cage and it's pinfall or submission instead of surrender or submission, which is totally fine. I have no problem with it. And the match started off with Adam Cole and Ricochet. Bobby Fish, of course, returning after having an injury to the knee, so he had on a brace. Yeah, it started off with Ricochet and Adam Cole, you know, and then since I was about to say the War Raiders, since Undisputed Era got the advantage because Kyle O'Reilly beat Hanson in a match in the main event of the go home show of NXT, they had the advantage. So it started off with Roderick Strong coming in, and then no, it wasn't Roderick Strong, it was Kyle O'Reilly. He came in, they started jumping Ricochet. Then eventually, who came out? Hanson came out, trying to get his revenge on Kyle O'Reilly, start tossing motherfuckers around, you know, doing his thing. Then Roderick Strong came out, start getting the advantage again. Then Rowe came out to help his tag team, and they just started dominating because, you know, the War Raiders, they have their name, War Raiders, War Games, so they got to destroy motherfuckers. So then Bobby Fish came out, but this is what Bobby Fish did to make it more interesting. What he ended up doing was he grabbed Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne tried to do his finger manipulation. He kicked Pete Dunne in his knee because on TV, Pete Dunne suffered a knee injury out of nowhere. Because Bobby Fish, his prerogative now is because he broke his leg, he's going to break everybody else's leg. That's what he did to EC3 on TV. He hit EC3 in the knee with the chair. So his gimmick now is just break out other people's legs because his leg was broken. So that, and then also it came to my attention recently that Pete Dunne suffered a foot injury. So a lot of people didn't think he was going to be in this match, but he did, and it didn't even hold him back. But I guess they wanted to create less time for him to compete. So what they did was they had Bobby Fish basically ram Pete Dunne's face into the cage from the inside, take another lock the lock that's already on the door, takes the key, throws it into the crowd, and Pete Dunne's stuck there. So then it's just it's 4-on-3. Undisputed Era, they got their own chairs now. They got chairs with Undisputed Era logos, and it's ironically on WWEshop.com. I don't know if you want an Undisputed Era chair, but there you go. So they start dominating for a second. Then eventually Pete Dunne is trying to get out of it, so they're trying to save him time. Pete Dunne. Eventually the referee comes in with bolt cutters, and then it's pull-up time because Pete Dunne pulled up limping. Came in, they tried to close the door on Pete Dunne. He started doing the finger thing, the finger manipulation. Eventually got the kendo stick, hits Bobby Fish and Cole. He forearms Roderick Strong, and then Adam Cole tries something, hits Adam Cole's hand on the stairs with the kendo stick, brings in trash cans, brings in tables, and now War Games has officially began. So now it's just basically just hell on earth. Now, a lot of shit happened in this match. I'm not reading, but if you read this match on paper, it's at least 2 pages worth of stuff. No, you ain't got to double space it, bro. That's how much a lot of stuff that's happened in this match. So, let me see. Let me get to where I want to talk about, because there's a lot that happened in this match. Literally a lot. There might be stuff I'm forgetting because it was a lot. So, I'm just going to just throw stuff out there and just talk about it. So, there was a cool spot where Undisputed Era just started dominating, and they ended up throwing Hanson into the cage face first. Then eventually, this is the scary part, they threw Raymond Rowe into the cage, but he bounced off, or no pun intended, ricocheted off of the cage, and he fell directly onto Bobby Fish's injured leg. And I was like, oh, shit. Damn, how the fuck you get injured in your first match back? He was screaming. But eventually Bobby Fish got up, and it seemed like he was normal. And now people are saying Bobby Fish is injured. But then there's people saying that it was more of a psych thing. He thought he was injured, but he's really not. I really hope Bobby Fish is not injured, because I can't sit through Bobby Fish turning into Hideo Itami. So he throws him into the cage, falls on his leg. Undisputed Era had real good moments of domination. I say the MVPs of this match were the War Raiders for sure, because they were tossing motherfuckers around. They were hitting shit. There was the cool moment, a spot where they had hit their it was like a German suplex where Rowe has Roderick Strong in a German suplex position, and then Hansen's big ass jumped off of the rope like a cruiserweight, clotheslined him, and that was cool for near fall, I believe. There was a callback to the last year's War Games with Kyle O'Reilly where he last year he tried to hit somebody with the chair. The chair bounced off, hit him in the head. Then he got a German suplex. So what they did this year is that he did it, but he stopped himself and was like, "Oh, no," and then got taken out by the War Raiders. So let's talk about the table spot. There's one table spot where Bobby Fish just rammed. He literally speared, football tackled Raymond Rowe through the table that was like draped in between the rings. Then there was a spot where Kyle O'Reilly had, it was somebody in a, he had him in a, the Hell's Gate position. I forgot what they were. The triangle choke. He had him in triangle choke, and then Hansen just jumped off the top rope and just flattened Kyle O'Reilly. He tried to go for the pin, and Roger Strong just striked him with a broken garbage can. There was another spot. I really like this spot actually, where they surrounded Pete Dunne, and they had the chairs, and basically one ring was the Undisputed Era and Pete Dunne. The other ring was the War Raiders and Ricochet, and basically every time they would try to get into the ring, I believe it was Kyle O'Reilly and it was Roderick Strong. It was two Undisputed Era people. I forgot who it was, but they were basically just like trying to get them out of there, hit them with the chairs or whatever. But over there, Pete Dunne was trying to fight him off. He eventually put Bobby Fish in the ankle lock, but then eventually they put Pete Dunne in one and actually had put either a table piece or something like in front of Pete Dunne's face, trying to make him tap out. So eventually Ricochet said, "Fuck what you talking about," jumps over the ring, falls onto two of them, takes everybody else out, and then it just went to hell on earth again. Then there was a cool spot where basically everybody got suplexed, and they just said, "Fuck it, we'll just suplex everybody." So there was a spot where there was like two people were like on the ropes about to do something. Then you know the spot where a person like power bombs somebody that's suplexing another person. Well, they said, "We're gonna do that, but we're gonna have somebody also be choked onto it, and we're just gonna say fuck it, kill everybody." And that's what they did. They always do those spots in those big tag team matches where a person power bombs somebody who suplexes somebody else, and the other person is doing 450, that type of shit. So then after that, Ricochet said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna climb to the top of the cage and do a double moonsault and land on everybody." Holy shit moment, right? The match, and you think, oh, that would end the match. No, the match continued. So we got to pretty much the end of the match where it was just basically finisher fury. So first it started off with Bobby Fish getting the War Raiders finisher. I forgot what the finisher is called. The leg drop on the neck. So boom, there you go. So then Raymond Rowe got hit with the Undisputed Era's finisher, the what they call it. Roderick Strong hitting his sick kick and Kyle O'Reilly taking out the legs. Boom. So then after that, Rowe became a cruiserweight again as he did a handspring back elbow onto both of them, took both of them out. And then what happened to Raymond Rowe? I believe he got taken out by Adam Cole, or he just died after that. So then Adam Cole hit Pete Dunne with a running knee for a near fall, the last shot. He tried to go for it again. Pete Dunne ducked, hit the bitter end, and then Ricochet, I believe he had a 450 out of nowhere, literally, and then they both pinned him. And then 1, 2, 3, they won. Undisputed Era lost. Team Ricochet, War Raiders, and Pete Dunne won this War Games match. An incredible match. It was really good. After the match, Ricochet and Pete Dunne just look at each other with respect. They climb to the top of the cage, holding their championships. Nice visual. Now, if there's anything, they should have had the War Raiders not be dead and have them kind of be shown on camera celebrating, because they were kind of both the MVPs of this match, but also this is their first match on a takeover show. So, maybe showcase them off more, because I'm pretty sure they're going to go after Undisputed Era for the tag team titles and they're going to win it. It's kind of what's going to happen next at whatever next takeover, whether it be Royal Rumble or WrestleMania weekend takeover, one of the two. But yeah, it was a really good fucking match. A really good War Games match for WWE. I really hope WWE can continue to do this War Games show every year, because it never fails to be fun, just to be a fun match, just watching wrestlers just who can outkill each other. That's pretty much what War Games is. In this modern age, that's pretty much what War Games is gonna be. Who can kill each other by doing crazy shit? Because I watched the MLW War Games, and that was basically we're just gonna fucking kill each other and ourselves because fuck it. But yeah, it was a really good show. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. Very good show. I feel bad for Survivor Series, but at the same time, my hype for Survivor Series managed to die in the span of 1 week, all because Nia Jax decided she wants to punch Becky Lynch in the face, give her a concussion, a quote unquote broken face, a bruised eye, all that kind of stuff. So instead of getting Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, we're getting Ronda Rousey and Charlotte, and instead of AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar, we're getting Brock Lesnar and heel Daniel Bryan, and we're gonna see the last match in Daniel Bryan's career because Brock don't give a fuck, so he will give Daniel Bryan another concussion and end his career. But you know, this is the match y'all fuckers wanted, right? You wanted the American Dragon, god damn it, you ain't getting that motherfucker, so y'all can stop that shit. Anyways, guys, like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Do what you do to support me. Follow me on all my social media links down in the description below. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace.